Hello and welcome to Forward, a podcast all about finding small steps we can take in order to move in the direction of our dreams. I am your host, Lydia Morales. So whether you're running, stumbling, or crawling forward, I am here for you. We're going to figure it out together and do amazing things. Hello and welcome to Forward. In today's episode, I'll be talking about staying in your lane. And the reason for this is because if you're like me, then you get shiny object syndrome all of the time. And what that means is that you get distracted by one idea and then another, and you see someone else doing something different, and then you want to do that thing too. So before you know it, we're just bouncing all over the place with different ideas, but we're not sticking to one. And when that happens, then nothing gets done because we start a project and then we don't finish it because we jump to the next project. And we just keep going like this over and over again. And in order for us to achieve our goals and to feel like we're progressing and moving forward, then we definitely need to stick to an idea and to follow it through. So to stay in your lane, not worrying about what other people are doing, because what matters is that you stay focused on your own project. And the reason I say stay in your lane is because there's actually a story attached to that saying. See, when I was younger and was learning how to drive, we only had one family car. It was this huge Dodge van. I mean, I'm only 5'3", and that van was almost like 7 feet tall. So it was terrifying to me having to learn how to drive in this massive van. And I remember my dad was in the passenger seat. We were on the street. And I was driving, practicing, and I was just so scared. And my dad, he could just sense it right away how nervous I was. And what he said to me at the time was, as long as you stay in your lane, you're going to be okay. You're going to get there. And what he meant at that time, of course, was for me to not swerve and go into a different lane and hit another car and, to avoid doing any of that. As long as I stayed in my lane and kept going straight, I was going to get to wherever we were going. And that phrase actually stuck with me to this day. I don't think he knows how much of an impact that phrase made on me. Because when I am working on a goal, or when I have an idea that I want to see through and I get distracted, I always remember what my dad said, which was stay in your lane. When I'm overwhelmed with all these ideas that I want to do, I just go back to that, like stay in my lane. What am I doing? What is the goal? And what are the steps that I need to follow it? And to let go of the other distractions, other shiny objects that are surrounding me almost every single day. So I think it's so important to come back to that, to come back and realize that we are on our own path. And so many people are ahead of us, and so many people are also behind us. So as long as we don't get distracted with where we are in comparison to where others are and what they're doing, then we're going to be okay. We're going to get there. We're going to get to our destination, to our goals. But it's so important to not get so distracted, to make sure that we're progressing and not just leaving a project for a different one and a different one. I was on a Zoom call with my holistic entrepreneur friends. We're from all over the world, and we were talking about how we're all grasshoppers jumping from one idea to the next over and over again. And I thought that was just a perfect example, because so many of us do that, especially those of us that are trying to have a business or have so many goals that we're just jumping around all over the place, not really sticking to one, not really putting all our focus into one, and instead we're just putting a little bit of focus on like 100 goals, and if we do that, then it's gonna take a very, very long time for us to reach any of these goals. So don't be like us, don't be grasshoppers. We definitely need to stay focused and stay in our lane. So what I'd like for you to do is to really think about this, to write down what you're working on, remember what your goals are, and then I want you to write what you've been distracted with, or what shiny objects are distracting you recently. Because when you write this down, when you acknowledge the shiny objects around you, then it's so much easier to let them go or to save those goals for another time. And this exercise really helped me because it made me realize how distracted I actually was. Especially when I see other online business owners doing their ideas, and I just want to do it all too, but there's only one of me and there's only one of you. So make sure that you know where you're going, that you know what goal to focus on, because it's so easy to get distracted. We all do it. And just taking that power back and letting go of the distractions is going to be so helpful, because as soon as you get distracted again, you're going to acknowledge, oh yeah, this was a shiny object that was on my list, so I need to let that go today and focus on my actual goal. I need to actually commit to achieving this goal and this idea before I jump into the other one. And when you do that, you're going to realize that you're going to get a lot more done, because you're not bouncing off the walls anymore. You're staying in your lane and you're going forward in order to see this goal or idea through. And that's really what we need sometimes, to acknowledge what our distractions are and then put them aside, because they're not going to serve us right now. All they're going to do is have us spend our time and energy when we can spend that time and energy on the goal we currently have. And with this in mind, it's just so much easier to get back on track. But make sure you do acknowledge when you get distracted by these shiny objects, because the more you acknowledge it, the faster you let it go, and the faster you can go back to being productive and working on your goals. So, where are you getting distracted? What shiny objects are preventing you from putting all of your time and energy on your real goals? And when you figure that out, that's just one less obstacle that you have in order to move forward. And of course, it's completely okay to change lanes if you need to. But at the same time, as soon as you pivot or change your lane, you're still going to keep moving forward. That is the goal. You're not going to keep swerving all the way to the left or the right the whole time. So don't feel like you need to stay in one lane with your goals. It's absolutely okay to pivot, to readjust, to make sure that they work for you. Just make sure that when you do pivot, you're focusing on that new direction and you're still going straight and you're still doing the things that you need to do in order to accomplish that goal. And if you're wondering, well, I don't know if I have shiny object syndrome. How do I know if I am a grasshopper? Some examples of these are if you're taking on too many projects, if you can't seem to finish what you start because you got distracted by something else. Or if you see something trending and you jump on it, but then as soon as something else is trending, you quit that and start on the new trending thing. Those are definitely signs that there are shiny objects in your life that are distracting you from your actual goals, from the things that you're supposed to be finishing and the things that you're supposed to be working on. And I am 100% guilty of this, because new things seem so exciting and you just want to try them, whether it's a new marketing tool or a new platform to create content or products. But at the same time, we need to focus on the things that are going to get us results. So go ahead and try that exercise I mentioned about writing down how you get distracted and see what comes up for you. See what you can change and see what you can let go of, so you can spend more energy on the things that you actually desire, on the things that you actually want to see through. And let me know what came up for you for the shiny object list. Let me know what distractions you have and which ones you're going to learn to let go so you can focus on your goals. Thank you so much for listening. And if you haven't done so already, make sure that you subscribe to my newsletter so you can be notified of when the episodes air and when I have new online products out in the market. And when you subscribe, you'll automatically receive a free guided meditation for gratitude that I recorded so that we can get grounded and feel more gratitude in our lives. So to find out more and subscribe, go to lydiamoralesco.com and I'll add the links to the show notes. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day.